Hello everyone. Now we are going to review the clash that happened yesterday between India and Bangladesh in the T20 World Cup. So it was a really close contest, like to be honest. Like it was a nail biter and kind of a roller coaster. And the momentum was shifting from one team to the other. At one, like after the first innings, India were the clear favorites, but nobody knew what was gonna happen. It was Litan Das who stole the show, and and then that rain saga happened. After which, Litan Das as well as the entire Bangladesh team lost the entire momentum, and they succumbed under pressure. So, if I look at the scorecard, it was the comeback of KL Rahul. People always have complaints against him that he doesn't perform in key situations, in key matches. But yesterday, like most importantly, we should not write off Bangladesh because it is a very very strong team. You look at the batting lineup or especially the bowling lineup. Like they are a very strong team with bowlers like Taskin Ahmed. Like since the day he has made a comeback to the Bangladesh team, uh, their bowling has become extremely tough and strong. And then bowlers like Mustafizur and Shakib Al Hassan. So it's an added layer to the bowling lineup of Bangladesh, and they always put the opposition under pressure. And these are actually to be, if even if I call them legendary bowlers, that wouldn't be something wrong. So with the comeback of KL Rahul, like Rohit Sharma had a flop show yesterday as well. Like we can understand that he is having the burden of captaincy on him, so it's not that easy. And performing in a country like Australia in such a crunch and tough situation. But and this World Cup has been a Virat Kohli show completely. I mean, it's just like this World Cup is being played for Virat Kohli. I mean, the way he's been performing since the first game itself, the victory that he snatched from the jaws of defeat against Pakistan, and then a phenomenal innings again against the Netherlands. He didn't have a good show against South Africa, but again yesterday he was not out and he scored a brilliant knock of 64 with the eight fours and a six. And Surya Kumar Yadav, well, he's another integral part of the team who's you can call him the next big thing. He's been performing brilliantly, and yesterday as well he was in sublime touch. He scored 30 of just 16, and these 30 runs, these are a great contribution in a T20 game. Hardik Pandya didn't perform as expected, and Dinesh Karthik, well, his flop show also continues. I mean, he was also run out at a score of mere 7. And then Akshay Patel, you generally don't expect Akshay Patel to bat brilliantly, and if he does, it's always a welcome event for India. But unfortunately, he didn't perform that well. But yeah, coming back to KL Rahul and Virat Kohli, I think both of them are it was a comeback for KL Rahul. But speaking of Virat Kohli, I think this World Cup is you know he's the boss currently in this tournament. The way he played against Pakistan and then against the Netherlands, and we should not forget the kind of form he was in before the World Cup. I mean, he was receiving best wishes, and people were consoling him. And there was that famous message from Babar Azam where he was saying, "This too shall pass, stay strong." And it was not something. It was really sporting of Babar Azam, but it was not something which was a good sight for the Indians because Virat Kohli has always been a king of heart. a king of hearts for the Indian cricket fans. So he was like, you can say he was in somewhat poor form before the World Cup, but the way he has made a comeback, and how, I mean, in the T20 World Cup and against teams like Pakistan, Netherlands, Bangladesh, like he's been performing brilliantly, and we, like the Indians, can just hope that his brilliant form continues, and you know, like he might be the key performer who might help India to lift the World Cup after 15 years, lift the T20 World Cup after 15 years for sure. Now, speaking of the Bangladesh innings, well, nobody expected Bangladesh to give such a tough fight back. I mean, after India scored 184, probably, like they were, people just wrote off. Like Bangladesh was nowhere in considered to be in the game, but nobody had the slightest of clue that something so fierce as Leighton Nasser's innings was coming up, and the way he was thrashing and smashing the Indian bowlers all over the park. Like he scored 60 of just 27 balls. Only in 27 balls he scored a brilliant knock of 60 with seven fours and three huge sixes. So I remember that the rain came when Bangladesh were 66 for no loss after the end of 7 overs, and that's where that rain proved to be a blessing in disguise for Indians, because they were looking in fabulous touch. Like Shanto was also providing the support that was needed, and Leighton Das was smashing the ball all around the park. But with this rain, and like after the rain stopped, the revised target for Bangladesh was 151 in 16 overs. So the first delivery after the play resumed, like on the first delivery itself, Leighton Das slipped, and then the questions were being raised that you know is it a correct decision made by the umpires and the match officials, to resume the play when like you cannot, you should not at least compromise with uh, the playing conditions, like the you cannot put players in danger. You cannot compromise with the health of the players. I mean, in case, God forbid, if anyone uh, you know comes across any injury, that would be something really unwelcome. That would not be acceptable. That would be really unacceptable. But after that, but one thing that should be noticed here, that there was not a single Indian player who slipped. The Indians didn't slip, they didn't drop catches when the fielding side was India. So if the ground was not in a proper condition for the play to be resumed, we should have seen some Indian players slipping or at least struggling while fielding, but that was not the case at all. They didn't drop a single catch. That brilliant fiery throw from KL Rahul that dismissed Leighton Pass, which shifted the momentum completely towards India. So you cannot, it's kind of because if it rained for both. It's not, the rain should have impacted both, in case it had any impact. But yeah, it's like Leighton Nas was unfortunate to get run out, but you cannot take away the credit from KL Rahul for that brilliant throw. And once he was out, the momentum completely shifted towards India, and then the wickets started tumbling one after the other. Like the next man to go to be dismissed was Shanto, and after that, Hussain got dismissed, and Shakib Al Hasan also tried to you know launch a huge six, but unfortunately he also got dismissed at the boundary, near the boundary. But even then, like the Bangladeshis were giving a good contest. Like it was a nail biter, as I mentioned in the beginning itself. And until the last ball was bowled, it wasn't confirmed which team is going to win. So definitely, like, they played brilliantly. And there was some like there was a cameo from Hassan and Tuscan Ahmed as well, uh, who did hit a huge six, and they tried to bring Bangladesh closer to the target. And who knows, like, had there been one or two sixes more, the result could have been completely opposite, or it could have also ended in a super over, because they needed seven of the last ball. Had the last ball gone for a six, the match would have been tied, and then we would have had the super over. But and there was also one controversial event. Uh, it was the second bounce of the over when Virat Kohli was batting, and the umpires didn't signal a no ball, but Virat Kohli suggested that the umpires should signal it a no ball because it was the second bounce of the over. Now the cricket world is divided. You know, when as far as the opinion on this is concerned, like, I even heard Gautam Gambhir saying that Virat Kohli shouldn't be doing it because he's not the umpire. At the end of the day, he's the batsman, and if Virat Kohli goes and suggests the umpires, then what are the umpires there for? But still, it's kind of a reflex action which we need to understand. Like, while we are playing, many a times we see that the players themselves, they immediately signal a wide in case the umpire misses it, in case the umpire doesn't call a wide. And if the batsman is thinking that it's a wide, the batsman immediately suggests, that the ball should be called a wide. So, it's kind of a subjective event, where the opinion is completely subjective. In my opinion, well, as I said, it's just a reflex action, so there's nothing wrong in it. So I don't think Virat Kohli was wrong in suggesting or requesting the umpires, even if he did so, to signal a no ball. Now, from here on, um, I would say that the qualification of India for the semifinals is guaranteed, because the final game is against Zimbabwe, and, like, from a layman point of view, I would say that they are surely going to win it, and that way I believe they're going to top the group. And right now, when I'm recording this video, I think even Pakistan seems to be in a very good position. I mean, the South Africans are 37 for 2, and they have scored a brilliant 185. So if South Africa loses this and they go on to win against the Netherlands, uh, and India defeats Zimbabwe, which is quite guaranteed, in that case, India will end at the top of the group. And in case, like, there's a very interesting twist here. In case South Africa loses, I don't think that's going to happen. But in case it's a washout, then both the teams will have 1 point each, and South Africa will end at six. But if that happens and Pakistan defeats Bangladesh, then Pakistan will also have 6 points, and their run rate would be better than that of South Africa. So you never know. Like, even Pakistan has a chance of qualifying for the semifinals. But yeah, I believe India will surely end at the top. And the form that they are in, you know, they might be facing one of the three, surely, like New Zealand, England, or Australia. But the kind of form and the kind of a side that India is, I believe India is going to win this World Cup. Like, not just from uh, a follower's point of view, but also as far as my knowledge goes, and as far as my cricketing knowledge suggests me, I would say India is going to win the World Cup. Like, they are the favorites, in my opinion. So let's hope for the best. Still a lot of excitement is remaining. Like, the final will be played in 10 days from now, probably on the 13th of November. So a lot of excitement is still remaining, and let's keep on cheering for India. So, and let's hope that after 15 years, the wait would be finally over, and India would be winning this World Cup under the captaincy and leadership of Rohit Sharma, and due to the brilliant performance of our very own Indian players. So that's all for now. I'll see you in the next one. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai, Vande Mataram.